You are back with a single malt review. Dave and Tim here on December the 22nd. Two Little Ducks, number 22, if you want to get all bingo about it. And this little duck is about to sink or swim. Or something.
I do not believe I have ever in my life wanted to get bingo about something, but I will I will let you know if it happens. All right.
We've been on a bit of a streak lately. We have correctly guessed, or known even, what, 3 whiskies in a row?
3, but 2 of them were cheating. 2 of them were extremely cheating.
Well, is it cheating that you knew the material well enough to guess it straight off? I'd say that's just good knowledge and a bit of good
I'll say that it was extremely lucky.
Yeah.
Astonishingly lucky. But anyway, I'll take it. All right, we have got another similarly really stunningly coloured whiskey here, which is kind of looks like a repeat of the last one, actually, which was
yesterday's
first fill
unbelievably good Linkwood. Oh, that is a different nose.
This does not smell remotely.
Oh, that's probably not cask strength this time.
If it is, it's much less.
It's one of those ones where the flavour is locked up inside and will explode once the water goes in.
It's not mild. It's not a weak whiskey.
Oh, wow, that's going places.
How odd!
Goodness,
this is for a whiskey that looks identical. This is very, very different in its character.
I'm getting some very strong first impressions. I won't say what they are because that would, as always, skew our preconceptions and lead me to not be able to think of other options.
This has got a lot of confectionery.
Yeah.
There is boiled. There's hard candy in here, fruit candy.
And the finish is reminding me of like classic American bubble gum, like the baseball card.
Yeah, true. Hubba Bubba. Tutti Frutti is what this one is.
Which I've encountered before in one whiskey only. I won't say what it was because, again, I don't want to throw it off.
I'll have a scrape.
Yeah.
I think this needs water. Yeah, this is a funny old strength. It strikes me as stronger than 46, but not by
very drinkable though. It's a light body, with a lot of flavour, only a bit of heat.
It has a vibrancy to it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it's a youthful vibrancy or whether it's just got a bit of panache and it's older than I'm thinking. I might be a bit shook for guessing age because I thought I would have called the last one maybe 20 years old and it turned out to be 9.
Ooh,
so
that little bit of water has brought out a lot of fruit. That is ripe with mangoes and peaches. That is tasty. What's our talking point?
good question.
I mean, this is giving me plenty to talk about as it is, but let's see what our
the stack is getting thin now. I'm having trouble. No, not that one. Oh, here we go. Dram
Fam. Well, indeed.
Is it a member of the Dram Fam? This one could be a tough one, guys.
Dram Fam, Dramily family, Dramilia familia. Who knows?
Dram Fam. No, this may make sense later, but it does not presently.
Well.
Okay. All right, tell me what you were thinking. Maybe that will help me along.
I was thinking France. We've had, I think, exactly one French whiskey before. It was in the previous Advent calendar. I believe it Drinks by the Dram calendar. And it was notable for being wildly quirky with a very strong bubblegum note. I was totally blown away by just how original it is. This is a bit more classic whiskey tasting, but with that same kind of almost like a liqueur influence, a quirky sweetness and a big hint of bubblegum. Not what you expect from malt whiskey. I could, of course, be wrong. I've been wrong so many times.
That's made me remember that there's actually quite a big range of... And what's the jolly name?
Armoric is one
Armoric, yes. They are lethally available here now, so that is entirely possible.
I don't remember. I don't think it was Armoric we tried that other time in that calendar those many moons ago, but I don't remember what the distillery was called, so that's...
This is tasting a little bit closer to home, and by home I mean Scotland. I don't mean Otago.
Let's see what clues we have remaining.
Yeah. So we've got...
Probably rule out the USA.
Yeah, unless there's some very esoteric connection.
Distilled in a drought has been baffling us for days.
I think
now.
based on what we've done, Distilled in a Drought has probably gone. We just don't know where it went. I think that probably has been ticked off, but we can't say. Lowland flat out has not. We haven't encountered Lowland whiskey yet, unless I'm already forgetting things. It's been a long month involving a lot of whiskey. Central Otago, that still makes me very afraid. France, of course, and then Rachel Barry, which we were able to put some more distilleries on the list there. Rachel Barry, at some point, and I completely missed this Wikipedia update, started blending for the Ben Riach Distilling Company at some point. So, in addition to Glengarry, Auchentoshan and Bowmore, there was Glendronach, Ben Riach, and then Glen Glasser as well. So actually, that net is just getting wider and wider the more we find out.
As the finish on this one, it's so singular, so unique. That's what's making me think of France.
Okay. Keeping in mind, we still have a parachute available. I'm a little bit low confidence on France.
Fair enough.
I wonder. I'm not high confidence on anything else. Well,
your call. If you want to deploy parachute, then by all means.
I think we should use it, because otherwise, like that last elixir, we're never going to. We're going to reach the end of the game, and we've saved it up the whole time, and we're never going to use it in the first place. I think there was probably better times to have done this, but they have sadly been and gone. But yes, I am going to drink my dram. And we're going to teleport up into the plane, because we were really in there in the first place, and go for this year's... Where has it gone?
Should be at this end.
Yep, we're trying to get its card as well. Here it comes. Yeah. The parachute.
Yeah, well, wait, let's smash away for a very quick cut while we freshen our glasses, so we're not...
And then we can... let's guess on the other one, but it doesn't count.
Yeah.
You're France?
Yep, France.
All right.
Let's go Amric, because it is the most abundant and available French single malt.
I think this is somewhere in the lowlands of Scotland or Speyside. I'm just going to say Scotland. But it doesn't matter anyway. All bets are off. That's a safe nothing for that one. Okay, catch us in just a sec. Okay, we've done it. We have deployed the parachute. We've pulled the ripcord, and now it's time for a completely different whiskey, followed by the dual reveal.
Yes.
Which hopefully will be quite exciting. So this one is... the parachute has always been a bit of an esoteric concept. There's never been quite a quorum as to whether it's supposed to be a whiskey we simply want to enjoy, or a whiskey that's easy to guess, or both. Hopefully both.
Either way, it is the backup dram we're deploying, in the case of being... just simply not certain enough on what we had before.
I don't want to guess any international borders if I can help it.
Looks nice. It is rich, slightly veering towards bright gold.
That is bright gold. That's got a twinge there, which strikes me as it might be more on the sherry side of things. There's just a darker hue to that. We were just talking about...
Oh, that is a very Speyside nose. Like if you were to bottle the quintessence of Speyside and make it into a whiskey, then...
I think this is sherry, or a portion sherry.
I almost have a specific whiskey guess for this one, but I won't say it.
Keep it. We're only 1 minute 13 in. It'd be unprecedented. Okay, so what are we getting here? One, this is not cask strength.
No.
This is 46% or less. It is not...
I'm thinking maybe down 43, possibly.
It's not doing me any trouble on the tongue.
Yeah. It's so good and so familiar.
It is quite sherry, but it's not mega go nuts sherry.
No.
It's not sherry all the way out the ass. There is either a balance here, or it's something quite well used. But it doesn't... There's too much sumptuous wood, so I don't think it is well used. I think it is a good... it's just a well blended kind of whiskey.
And the smallest smidge of water, not because it needs it, but because it will, in theory, help with the tasting process. Come on.
There's a...
Smaller strip. Come on. Oh.
There's quite a... There's a caramel... There's quite a cool... There's a slightly mentholy, minty quality here. Otherwise, we've got the usual Speyside Highlandsy characters of toasted nuts, lots and lots of honey, heather honey coming through, and...
Tinned peaches. Water has brought out tinned peaches in particular.
I'm not saying I'm leaping to any absolutely immediate gets here. What were you thinking? We have no talking point for this one because we just have to go on. Glenfarclas. Okay, I think that's a good middle of the range pick.
What did it say? It says what?
Oh no, maybe we do have it. Maybe we do. Oh no, what's in the box? Okay, maybe that's just a. Maybe that's
the image is simply a crate on a parachute.
All right. Well, what is in the box?
Well, they didn't know we were going to be using this McKinley's box to store all these drams.
True.
Because that would be a bit too meta.
That would be a bit weird.
I'm thinking Glenfarclas. 10 or 12? They do a 10, right?
They do a 10. They even do an 8 that we've tried.
Of course,
It's remarkably good 8.
So I'm thinking a Glenfarclas 10 would be my guess. If that or it's... I messed up and it's Glendronach. But I could be wrong. I could just... drive myself bonkers trying to guess.
I like Glenfarclas. I'm just trying to narrow down which one I think it is. The 12 is the one I get because you can routinely get litre bottles for remarkably little money. This is a little bit too dark. I wonder if this is the 15.
Oh, I was thinking it might be... I was thinking it was a bit sort of light-bodied for one of the older ones. It would be richer and darker and a bit more syrupy if it was an older one. But that's just me.
Glenfarclas is weird because each of its age statements is sort of its own expression as well. You get the... I'm not really familiar with the 8 or the 10, but then you get the 12, and that's very, very light-bodied.
And there's bound to have been a bit of difference year by year, and it's been many expressions since I last tried.
And then the 15 is similarly... that's a bit more sumptuous, and then the 17, which is a weird strength for bottled whiskey, that goes a bit more light-bodied again, and then you get into the 21, and it's then it's gone richer again, but then the 24 is a bit more. They're funny old distillery these days, but I like it. I like it for the 15.
Well, should we lock in some guesses and put ourselves and these good folks at home out of our collective misery?
All right, let's see where the parachute.
I'm thinking Glenfarclas.
I like Glenfarclas. Cool. I'm gonna rein it all the way in with Glenfarclas 15, which I think is a 43%er, so that works for the strength as well. All right, here it comes. Oof.
Oh, it's one of them, which I can't read on the monitor.
Oh, it was Glendronach all along.
Yeah, it was my... Oh, I did mention I was thinking it could be a Glendronach.
And it's got a little... It's got a man.
Yeah. Little Jack in the Box of some sort, yes.
And question as to colouring or... Oh, no, it's unchill filtered, but we're not certain.
43%. Glendronach 12 and Ever Ready Classic.
Oh, and a desperately, wonderfully safe dram. I think we could probably all but walk there. We'll have to have a wee look.
Glendronach, I believe it's still exclusively sherry cask for the 12.
Okay.
They only use bourbon casks in some expressions, I believe, and this is not one of them.
No.
They're a recent adopter of bourbon casks, and they those ones that stand out. So
let's see for the second reveal. Let's see if we needed that parachute.
What was the actual 22nd?
Wouldn't it be funny?
Slightly wrong on the parachute.
Wouldn't it be funny if it was something super close?
I was guessing Armoric, and you picked Lowland.
Only because there's a Lowland thing on the board. But okay, let's see. Whoop.
What we got? Ardnamurchan.
Paul Noir. Okay, that's
Good
France,
Lord.
But it's not France.
No,
it's something else entirely. But you know what? There's some French molecules in there. So this is third release ex-bourbon champagne still wine finish, 57.1%, and otherwise all natural. I didn't know they were still making this whiskey. We've tasted this whiskey, but it was the
first one, right? Yeah. So Paul Noir, a champagne producer in France. This is a champagne cask finished. Ardnamurchan, so a young Scotch whiskey, matured first in ex-bourbon casks, then champagne still wine. So it's not like
well, because they wouldn't be able to put anything fizzy in the cask. I guess this is pre. I'm never particularly solid
champagne
on that.
Is bottle conditioned, I assume. So
well,
it's
in glass. It's
anyway.
bottle fermented. So that would have to take place sometime after being in the cask.
So it's a little under 7 years old, and finished in an ex champagne cask. Yeah. We have, as I mentioned, tried the first Paul Noir release from Ardnamurchan back in the past. This is 2 iterations further on.
This one is tasting a lot richer. A lot richer. The first one, and I guess that makes sense because it was that much younger, I thought that was really it was very spirit driven. It didn't have... I liked it just fine. We reviewed it, in fact, so you can see exactly how much we liked it if you scroll back. But this has a lot more layers. This has a lot more layers on it. I would never, ever have picked this for Ardnamurchan, and that's probably because it's the unpeated make, and that one always throws me. But that unpeated make, I'm going to say, is tasting incredible, because that was a really, really complete whiskey. Ardnamurchan I still sort of peg, because it's still such a youthful series of expressions. They haven't been distilling all that long. This one, good to go. Extremely good to go.
Now, I could be wrong here, but I think champagne casks are exceedingly small by whiskey standards.
I've seen the display of them. They weren't big, that's for sure. They're certainly nothing like a butt. I think they're more or less just like a normal wine cask, I think. The Paul and Mile website has a bunch of them. Okay, so that certainly saved an accident. An accident in Potentia, so I'm glad we used it then.
What was your guess for...
My guess was just Lowland and Shrug.
Lowland, Scotland, Mine was France, so probably if you add them up distances, probably... Oh, you would certainly... Yeah, you would have been closer.
Yeah, but, that was trips. Well, none of us.
We're basing our actual scores for today on the parachute dram, so we will slightly
work
off.
Those out.
Let's look at the numbers, and we'll be right back after the cut.
Indeed.
Well, that's an extra couple 100 kilometres each.
But it could have been so much more.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to say we thought we might have completely wasted the parachute.
The wrong country.
But we're okay. We're okay. That still leaves us a few danger picks where we'll go through with that. But we'll just have to soldier on.
Yes. Where are we going to rate these two?
Yeah, 2 whiskies now to do. We'll start with the Ardnamurchan. I was very surprised with that Ardnamurchan, and surprised in a good way. I think I have now got a completely different idea of what unpeated Ardnamurchan is, and I am suddenly thinking they should be making a lot more whiskies that use it, because that, maybe it was some super old cask and we're not going to see another one for several years, but that was some pretty scrummy old complete whiskey, if you ask me. Where would I put it though? I think I might put it below the Miyagi-Kyo and above the Deanston.
Interesting.
That's where I'm aiming. What do you think?
I would have personally gone, just above the Cotswolds.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was aiming low. I'm going to say that was a rope-a-dope, but I'm going up above the Cotswolds.
Okay.
Boom.
Wow. Right.
That's our new.
Yeah.
That's our new number 4. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's our new number 4. Let me just put a note in there, or I'll forget.
And then for parachute dram, Glendronach 12, an old favourite of mine, so I feel bad for not guessing it, but anyway, I think it's been a while since I had it.
It's gone through quite a few iterations as well. The Glendronach 12, our Glendronach 12, was actually Glendronach 16 or 18, because when we were drinking a lot of it, it was in the gap year. It was
extensively top-dressed.
It was exclusively top-dressed. There was no 12-year-old whiskey in it, because there was no 12-year-old whiskey in the world.
Yeah.
They had a production gap, which meant anything under sort of, depending on the time of the time of history that you occupied, they had simply no whiskey at all, and so you could have been drinking something with 12 in the bottle, but it was actually 18 in the bottle.
In fact, the last time I bought a bottle of Glendronach 12, I believe that was one of 2 whiskies I had on the buffet table at my wedding, which was 10 and a half years ago.
That will do it. That will do it.
It was the Glendronach 12 along with the Sauterne cask Aaron.
That will extremely do it. If someone wants to do some extra for experts, find out what part of the gap we were in then, and what age that whiskey probably had to be by default.
So this is an entirely different beastie, so I don't feel quite so bad for getting it wrong. I've given myself an excuse and absolved myself of my whiskey sin of thinking that Glendronach was Glenfarclas.
You are forgiven. They're not the most dissimilar whiskies on earth either. But Glendronach 12 to me is one of these good old standby whiskies. You know where you are with it. Well, unless you're trying to guess it blind. Yeah. It's in terms of the quality, it's a really comforting whiskey. I guess it does make a good parachute, because it's just sort of, it's not out there to absolutely stun anybody, but it's just comforting. It's delicious.
It's a familiar, comfortable, warm blanket of a whiskey. I put it above Miyagi-Kyo and just under Cotswolds.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an ever-ready, evergreen whiskey. It is good all the time.
Can I fight you down exactly 1?
Sure.
To above the Deanston, but below the Miyagi-Kyo. I think the Miyagi-Kyo just had a spark for me.
Sure.
It had a dynamism, which this one, for as comforting as it is, this is a warm blanket of a whiskey.
Yeah.
There's a dynamic. So if you can let that one go, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be our new 6. for that one. Okay, that will let me adjust the list. Failsafe. Okay, that was a bit of a happening episode. I hope it didn't go on for jolly yonks, but for all of those still hanging in there, thank you for watching.
2 whiskies for price of 1. A Christmas miracle.
Well, get lost, Streak. We didn't like you anyway. We're going home.
Winning streak is over, but the whiskey continues on. We'll see you again tomorrow for
the last,
another good one.
The last wee bit of days there. Oh, boy. Okay. Slanja.